नमस्कार फ्रेंड, आप सभी का स्वागत है। फ्रेंड्स, बैंक पेंशनर पेंशन अपडेशन के बारे में AIBPRC ने एक पत्र IBA को लिखा है। जैसा कि आपको पता है कि IBA और UFBU की मीटिंग यानी नेगोशिएशन 28 फरवरी को होना है और इसके पहले AIBPRC ने IBA को एक पत्र लिखा। Negotiation between IBA and UFBU scheduled to be held on 20th February 23. With reference to the above referred subject, we would like to make the following submission for your kind consideration. Your attention is drawn to our earlier letter dated 20th January 2023, which was simultaneously addressed to Deputy Chief Labour Commissioner and yourself. In the said letter, we contended inter alia that a confusion was persisting in the group of words Updation of Pension for past retirees. We are happy to know that IBA during the Conciliation meeting held on 27 January 23 wanted to have a clarification of the term past retirees and requested the organization to clarify. We are happy to know that IBA during the Conciliation meeting held on and requested the organization to submit a letter in this regard. We are further happy to know that the Convenor of UFBU by letter number 23-2 dated 1st February 23 has clarified the position as under. We demand that all existing pensioners with effect from 1st January 86 and up to those who retired on or before 31st October 2017 should be covered by the Updation of Pension and the present position paid to all these retirees on and from 1st January 86 to 31st October 2017 be brought updated to the level of pay scales as applicable under the 11th Bipartite Settlement 8 joint note signed in on 11th November 20. On the face of communication, we get a clear indication at least for the present moment that the earlier confusion stands eradicated from the side of union associations. Now we like to come to the other party of the negotiation, that is IBA. We quote here under from the minutes of discussion between IBA and Union on 10th December 20 and 4th January 21, which have come in public domain. IBA is quite sympathetic to the issue, especially revision in pension for those who have retired under earlier settlement periods when the emoluments were relatively lesser than the present. B. IBA has already indicated that the look into the cost constraints, the issue would be pursued further for amicable solution subject to the government approval in this regard. C. IBA is actively evaluating the issue as demanded by the association for which an actuary is appointed. From the text of the minutes as written in point number 4A4C, it appears to us that the apex body is having a lot of confusion and mental invitation in regard to the subject of pension updation. We have time and again repented before IBA and Government of India by quoting the relevant provisions of BFR 95, pertinent court verdicts and the placement of the cost analysis. Apart from this, we have also discussed the subject at length in a long duration meeting arranged at the behest of the Honorable Union Finance Minister, and in course of the said meeting, we repeatedly insisted on the fact that pension updation does not depend upon the discretion or sweet will of the banks. It is a statutory liability of the employer. It is not an issue of negotiation as it is in the statute, which has the character of a subordinate legislation. It is now the obligation of IBA to implement. 6. As retirees, we are the principal stakeholders and our views explained repeatedly should be taken into consideration. The principal arguments are enumerated again. Every way settlement entails increase of the emoluments, thereby rendering the earlier emoluments relatively lesser. IBA's perception has resulted in creation of artificial classification within the similarly placed retirees who are a homogeneous group. Every pensioner who has seen wage revision after his retirement is also entitled for pension updation with every wage revision. Regulation 35(1) Appendix has clearly spelled out the modalities of the updation of pension. In the Appendix 1, there is a mention of a group of the retirees between 1st January 86 and 31st December 1987. Since this particular group was alone relevant and eligible for pension updation at the time of implementation of BAPAR 1995, it was duly implemented and benefits of updation were given to the specific group. It will have to be understood that pension updation is not an one-time dispensation but a continual process on every wage revision. Subsequently, in the year 2003, there was an amendment to Regulation 35(1), and the said amendment, basic pension and the additional pension wherever applicable shall be updated as per the RBI formula in Appendix 1. As per formula in Appendix 1, the Regulation 35(1) thus became open-ended, and the due process of law, like notifying the amendment in the Gazette of Union of India and placing the same on the floor of both the houses of the Parliament, were followed. It is a clear discretion to banks to compute and notify the formulae of updation at the time of each wage revision, as is done in case of government and the RBI implies. The reluctance and hesitation on the part of IBA is unexplainable by an standard of the logical thinking, and in the process of intentional delay, thousands of senior citizens have left the world without getting their legitimate dues which had been guaranteed in bank employees' pension regulation. As for cost appointment of actuary and related issues, we quote again the relevant provisions of the BAPAR 95, which details out without any ambiguity an obligation of the bank in regard to adequacy of the corpus. Regulation 11 states that the bank shall cause an investigation to be made by an actuary into the financial condition of the fund every financial year on the 31st day of the March, and make such additional annual contribution to the fund as may be required to secure the payment of the benefits under these regulations. As IBA is headed by the reputed chairman and executive director of different points of time, it is naturally expected that they would appreciate the implication of this particular regulation, and which needs no elaboration. In light of what has been told above, a very pertinent question comes: what is the ultimate aim of the negotiation on the pension updation? It is to rewrite the already settled provisions along with its subsequent amendment in 2003, or to make as a discretion of it. It is to the fragment of the bank retirees into not so much old and very old categories. In case IBA has any doubt in the interpretation, Regulation 56 has clearly shown the way to make the reference to central government employees pension scheme and rules as the pension scheme in banks in exactly on the line of government and RBI pension. Sir, time too precious for us, and unfortunately that precious time is fast running out for us. Everybody, we are losing our colleagues who are leaving the world without getting their legitimate dues because of the indecisiveness and the procrastination of the part of the authority concerned, who is the duty bound to declare the pension updation formulae in regard to each settlement. Denial of the same is the violative of the statutory provisions of Bank Employees Pension Regulation and of Article 14 of the Constitution of India. Subjecting us, the senior citizen, to this kind of the deprivation is also against the provisions and spirit of the senior citizens litigation policy of the government. Sir, this is the time to act fast, and we are confident that you will do justice to your elders. With kind regards, Sri K.V. Acharya, Suprata Sarkar, President AIBPRC General Secretary and Joint Convenor CBPRO. ये पत्र लिखा है और उसमें बार बार इस बात का, दो बातों का जोर दिया है कि पेंशन रेगुलेशन एक्ट के हिसाब से पेंशन अपडेशन हर वेज रिवीजन के साथ होना चाहिए, एंड पेंशनर्स आर द होमोजीनियस ग्रुप एंड देयर शुड बी नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन एंड देयर शुड बी नो पास्ट ऑफ वर्ड ऑफ द पास्ट रिटायरी. सो दो चीजें, आरबीआई फार्मूला पर पेंशन अपडेशन होना चाहिए और सभी बैंकर्स का होना चाहिए, यानी सभी पेंशनर्स का होना चाहिए. थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, नमस्कार.